H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's Women Rock Wednesday today. Let me look and check and see who are my 5 top women. Let me tell you something. If you just tune in, every day we try to find out the top 5 people, the first 5 people to sign on to the YouTube or Facebook page, and we recognize them. And we recognize them today. Welcome Jimmy to the screen. Mindy Collins. We got, let me go on down. Let me keep on. Karen Thomas. I'm skipping past you guys. Tiffany Sanders. What's up, Tiffany? Who else we got? Anissa Ville and Yolanda. Hey, Yolanda. We're Exposure Accessories and Home Accessories. And then we got Kimberly Jackson. We got to throw Manise in there. So I got Kimberly Jackson in there. She came in. Jimmy, great day. Women Rock Wednesday. We got news this morning. They broke a little news this morning. Woj is a Woj. I guess it was a Woj bomb this morning. A friend of our show, Sam Cassell, has been reported interviewing with the Clippers for that job. And I know I mentioned to y'all last week, Sam was dealing with the death of his father, and I guess they interviewed with the Clippers on I think yesterday. Tuesday, yesterday. And it's a great thing for the Clippers. Great thing for him. And the reason, Jimmy, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Tyronn Lue is in the driver's seat with a lot of jobs. Tyronn Lue everybody is waiting for Tyronn Lue to pull the trigger. The Rock is waiting. Everybody, he is the catalyst. But remember what I told y'all about the NBA. The NBA like to remain relevant, Jimmy. They like to like right now the NBA is over. Okay? So what happens is they leak out little news every day just so what? They can be in the news because it's football time now. So you're gonna get periodically a lot of these leaks out over the next few months or over the next month. I think they're gonna ride this thing out for a month. But just wanted to explain that to y'all today, and a lot of people don't understand that. But Jimmy, I got something else for y'all on Michelle Obama and LeBron James team up to encourage early voting. It's an initiative, Michelle Obama's initiative, When We All Vote, is teaming up with More Than a Vote. Check this out now. Michelle Obama has an initiative called When We All Vote. She is teaming up. I love the fact that these two people are teaming up with LeBron James, More Than a Vote, which is led by, like I said, LeBron James, to encourage early voting across the United States, y'all. The organization will hold events in major cities starting next week to build momentum and excitement around voting early. So it's a nonprofit, and Jimmy, they're gonna provide information, food, music, and personal protective equipment in early voting sites around the country from October the 18th through October the 31st. So look out there, man. It's powerful. Women rock. Like, look here. LeBron said, okay, all right, I got my More Than a Vote. Let me go get Michelle. It's Women Rock Wednesday. Let me go get Michelle to help me with this, man. Let me tell you something. I love it. Y'all know stuff like that excites me. Hello, Leah. Hello, all the ladies on the Facebook feed today. But Jimmy, I know we got special guests today. We got we got several special guests today. And y'all be patient with us because I didn't do a great sound check with these guests. So let's, all my prayer warriors out there, Put your hand on your computer so we can get this thing right. Jimmy. And Jimmy, remind me, y'all, you know how people bring up, because of this coaching time, I got some Mark Jackson stories for y'all. Y'all, Rick, y'all got to wait. Y'all got to remind me, Corey, Jimmy, when we get around in basketball, start out talking about coaches, I got some Mark Jackson, because everybody always asks the question, why is Mark Jackson not up for a job? Why Mark Jackson not up for a job? It was a nice little article that explained a few of those things. So what you got, Jimmy? What you got at that today?
Man, my Astros did it again. They found a way to mess off another game. Jose Altuve, think about it like this. Don't nobody remember what you ate for breakfast. At the end of the day, only what you ate for dinner. I say it again. At the end of the day, nobody remembers what they ate for breakfast. Only what they ate for dinner. Point taken. Jose Altuve smacks a home run in the first inning. At the end of the game, how many people remember that? They remember that era. Again, another era. Throwing era. E4. That, sure enough, the next batter up does it again. And you know, and I'm going to tell you like this. I mean, in all seriousness, watching Tampa Bay is how we watched the Astros about 4 years ago. Remember I mentioned yesterday, low payroll, one of the lowest payrolls in the league, if not the lowest payroll in the league. No designer names on the roster, but they're getting it out the mud every single game. And that's how the Astros was when they first came about with this team. Remember Carrera was a rookie, and we had this little short guy, Altuve. People loved him because know one thing about baseball. In baseball, they're always going to love the shortest guy because you don't have to be tall to ball in baseball. But this team, the defensive adjustments that they are making against the Astros, sure, we didn't watch them that closely against the Yankees. The New York people probably were in total denial. The sting isn't as much with the Astros against this guy. These guys are getting timely hitting. They're getting defensive plays when needed most. The pitchers are throwing good ball. Now, mind you, the Astros, yes, they stranded a boatload of players again yesterday. Had the bases loaded again, Adam, in the eighth inning, I think. With one out, bases loaded again. Again. Guess what? It ain't all on the Astros. At some point, you get them dudes credit even before it's over with. Hey, man, them dudes is playing a masterful series against the Stros. And guess what? Do you think look over the other side of the track? Atlanta wins again, guys. Even though they held off a late rally against the Dodgers, they win again. Atlanta up 2-0. Remember I said, so guess what? The Dodgers had world championship aspirations, not just everybody at the beginning of the season did, just a week ago. Think about how the Dodgers were applauding themselves inside in the inner them, thinking, look at the Yankees. They folded like a cheap tent. And look at the Dodgers. This Atlanta Braves team is getting runs. They're getting productivity. But it was 9-8 last night. And guess what? Acuna is still in a slump. Your leadoff batter, your best player, is in a slump, and you're still winning. Hell, he struck out 2-3 more times yesterday. He's been striking out. If you look at his at-bats, Acuna, and I'm curious to see what they are. Some of you guys in Boomer Room can remind Acuna for the Atlanta Braves. Let's go back to his last 4 games, and let's see his at-bats, how many strikeouts he has. He's been woofing.
I got a question. Because I know your favorite word when person do something, when James Harden do something like that and mess up we call it choking. Is what Altuve doing? Is that choking?
Yeah.
He'll choke. Okay. I just wanted to know. Okay. I just wanted to know.
Right now, he's choking.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what it's called. But the team, and at some point, though,
Jimmy, he got Jimmy, like in golf, they say he got the yips. Like in golf, you be up there nervous and you can't hit a putt this big. They call that the yips. Altuve, he got a routine grounder, and he doing. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And the people that's trying it on the broadcast, they try to make excuses for him. Bottom line is, guys, this is a former MVP of the league, and even though that throw is not in the dirt, both of those errors, was when he playing on a defensive shift. He's deep in the grass playing short right field. That don't matter. So you make that throw. You make that throw.
It's routine.
And guess what though? Him and Gurriel, they not on the same page. Because they're errors for Jose Altuve, but that's what first basemen do. You dig them things out.
He dug it out, Jimmy. He dug it out. What you want him to dig? He ain't no gopher. he dug.
Put it like this. Look at that first baseman for
my God,
Toronto.
Dude, that man is the Matrix, though, man.
He digging everything out. They just throw
What's his nationality? What's his nationality? He look like he Asian.
No, that's Diaz. He from Cuba.
Oh my God.
He from Cuba. They had 5 guys in this series from Cuba. 5 from this series that have played already from Cuba.
Man, that dude stressed out. That man looked like Morpheus the way he stressed out.
And that's what first basemen. And guess what? You pay attention as you win. You're like, man, that dude.
I saw that. I said, what's
Diaz over there? He over there, dude. Back in the days, you remember the movie? Bingo Long, Traveling All Stars, and Motor King.
Oh, I love that movie.
Diaz on first base, like the first baseman was them. He's doing the split.
Oh yeah,
he did do the split. He did the split. He doing the alligator. He doing the Watusi.
Who was that character?
He just whoop. Everything was over there. I'm like, dude, man, that dude's so bad. He's so you can't even be mad at him. You can't. I'm like, man.
No.
And in baseball, they got a saying: you can never throw the ball too low. In baseball, if an infielder, you can never throw the ball too low. So that's why you see a lot of infielders just throw it down and they throw it hard and try to throw it. You're not hitting the ground on purpose, but you throw it and you're throwing it down. You never can throw it too low. That first baseman's job is to scoop that thing up out of there. And that's why the first baseman's mitt is a different type of mitt than a regular. It's not a catcher's mitt, but the first baseman's mitt normally has an extra webbing on it to help secure those scoops. Guess what? Bottom line,
Jimmy, he a pro though, man. If he can't get it done, man, I don't feel sorry for him. He a pro. I don't feel sorry for him, bro.
And I want to just go through some I noticed, and like I said, I'll give you guys the Astros yesterday. They had 7 hits. Think about this ratio: 7 hits produced 2 runs, right? Okay. The Rays had 8 hits. They produced 5 runs, right? If I go and look at the other game, I'm looking in the paper right now, guys. Let me look in the paper. The Dodgers, check this out, had 10 hits, produced 7 runs. Atlanta, 10 hits, produced 8 runs. Think of the correlation. We're not producing with runners in scoring position. And that's the thing and they know it. They know it. The Astros know it. Think about it. You hold this team at potent offense, you hold these guys to 5 runs, you hold these guys to 4 runs. That offense has to give what it gave against Oakland somehow. And guess what? 1 game at a time. Now, this is game 7 for the Astros. It's game 4 for the Tampa Bay Rays. And Greinke is going to be on the mound today, game 4. And that's just another thing. Ain't no days for adjustments. Now, some guys don't take the day off. They go to the batting cage for 4 or 5 hours, work on some things. If your ass in a slump in these playoffs in baseball, you staying in a slump. You got to hit your way out of it. An at bat is the only way you can get out of that slump. You ain't get now. Don't get a twist. You can go and work on some stuff, but you're gonna tire yourself out. And that's the thing about that. It's time for our first break.
No, I'm messing with you. No, I did that intentionally. I'm playing with some new toys we got.
Okay.
Hey, I'm playing with some new toys we got, Jimmy.
And so
watch this. I put you in there now. Hey, I'm playing with some new toys, man. They gave me some new toys, Jimmy. Hey, mess around. Look at that. They mess around and gave me some new toys, Doc. That's all I'm saying.
And hey, man, once again, for them Dodgers, Adam, is Mookie choking? You asked me about Altuve.
Hey, man.
What Mookie doing?
Hey, man. Why don't you mind your own business, man? Leave Mookie alone.
He got one hit. He got one hit yesterday.
Hey.
I think it was one for 3, something like that. 1 for 3, 1 for 4. But is Mookie choking?
Hey,
that's the question.
I've been waiting on y'all to say something about Mookie. Y'all quit being haters on Mookie, man. Y'all quit being haters. Look, Jimmy, it's got to look like the Brady Bunch over here, Jimmy.
And thanks a bunch. Of course, Rod Wells, he says Bellinger went 1 for 10. Turner went 2 for 9. Mookie is 1 for 7. This is in the whole series right now. And Muncy 1 for 8. Dude. And Bellinger had a chance to win the game last night. The Braves, they made a hell of a rally. They were getting skunked. They come back in the 9th inning and close that thing down to 1 run. Got a runner on third base. Bellinger at bat. He hit one to third. 5-3 in ball game. But once again, this is when it, baseball is not an easy game. At the same time, when you're the overwhelming favorite, which the Dodgers were, don't get it twisted. Atlanta Braves. We saw that coming, and I said it back in the regular season. I say, man, I so wish we can get Atlanta versus the Dodgers, because this Atlanta team match up really, really good with this guy.
I like that you're a baseball aficionado and you like to see good series. But man, we one win away. We one win, Jimmy. And guess what? Watch how they start doing the Altuve on us.
Who is they?
That team we talking about, that other team, Atlanta. We're gonna have a couple of Altuveers on Atlanta team. They're gonna start short hopping and just watch. A nice win every now and then, Jimmy. When a nice win come through, we all good. Yeah, but when we come back with break, I'm gonna try something, Jimmy. I wanna see how it sounds. To prevent that background noise. But Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute.
Can you win the game in the first quarter? No. Can you win the game in the second quarter? No. Can you win the game in the third quarter? No. Can you win the game in the fourth quarter? So much poise, so much come through, so much belief. What a freaking night that was. Can you wait a little bit longer, maybe? That's the only thing we could ask. Can you win the game in the first quarter? No. Can you win the game in the second quarter? No. Can you win the game in the third quarter? No. Can you win the game in the fourth quarter? much belief. What a freaking night I was.
What do you find to continue to drive you in this quest for a ring that you got enough rings for one hand?
Well, I think a lot has to do with the expectations of people, and very little. You set your own expectations and you live up to those, but your expectations are going to be geared to what people feel you can accomplish. I mean, sure, everybody's saying this is Utah's year. You know, they best record, they got the home court advantage.
Does that drive you?
Yeah,
everybody continues to say it's going to be Utah this year.
Motivation.
For the first time, the Bulls don't have this. They don't have that.
Yeah, that's motivation. If it's not, then I mean, you know, you certainly need to look in the mirror. But that's a sense of motivation. You got to have some inner motivation too. You want to be successful. It's a long season that you started off trying to end the season with a win. You know, that should never deteriorate. But other things come in with the same type of intensity in terms of motivation.
What if you lose this series? Does it tarnish you? Does it tarnish this team?
No. You know, things that we have accomplished cannot be refuted at all. You know, and a loss doesn't erase it all. You know, I think, you know, we end the season, you know, with the win. Then, you know, we make sure that, you know, our objectives are met in the course of the year. And, you know, if it so happens and it's not meant to be that way, you know, we don't look at the season and say, well, it was a wasted season. No, a lot of the good things happened this season, and it was a fun season no matter how you look at it.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim the Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Jimmy, ain't this a good time to share the show right now? Good time to share the show. And I hope with Jimmy, I'm going through my records. Jimmy, I got some I want to share with people. Guess what's on the way? Guess what they gave me? Y'all stuff is being shipped out. Check that out, Jimmy. That's the packing. That's the packing.
That matches my shirt right there.
Yeah. Your stuff gets sent out. Hold on.
Let me dip that to the side for y'all real quick.
They showed me some. They gave me a little stuff. Let me show you how they looking. Hold up, y'all. Them Chop Shop T-shirt. They being shipped out. Look at it in black. Jimmy, you know they sent yours too. They got one special for you though. They got a special one for you over there. Hold on. I ain't. Hold on. Let me check. That's a big one there. That's a big one that covered up my whole head. I don't know who that. I ain't gonna tell y'all who that one belonged to. Okay, and then I got one more, Jimmy. I got one more, man. I just wanted to show the people. They check this out. Check it red. I ain't mean to put the name. I ain't gonna tell you. Oh, somebody's. They just let me see them before they ship them. I said I want to see. You know, it's like it's the baby. It was like a baby. I said I want to see that baby first. I want to see that baby before y'all ship them out. And y'all stuff is it getting in the mail? Matter of fact, somebody gonna come during the show and take these from me and send Seneca. I'm gonna put the link in there how you can customize your own show just shortly. I'll put it in the link. Your shirt. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll show you how to get your shirt. And we got some more stuff coming. Long sleeves coming. I mean, it's just, let me tell you something. This Chop Shop. Jimmy, you got to check it out, man. I can't wait till you get your physical. I had them bring them to you, but I said, man, y'all just social distance. Jimmy is practicing social distances right now, but I'm just kidding. But what else we got, man? What else we got today?
Man, we got so much stuff. I mean, of course, at the top of the hour, we got 2 guests coming next hour.
Yeah.
We have 1 guest. We're going to talk, and it's for you ladies. We're going to talk some injury prevention topics, as well as breast cancer prevention topic. And these are 2 doctors that's going to join us, courtesy of the Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab. Then at the back end of the next hour, half past the hour, we're going to be joined by one of the grassroots coaches on the girls' side. So we're giving you a double dose today on the back end. And that means now we always have the conversations by grassroots on the boys' side. So I want to invoke Cynthia Somebody need to remind Cynthia
Guillory, yeah.
to find us on our new Facebook page so she can I guess help ignite the conversation on the girls' side. I know we got Trey Phillips, and I know we got all the rest of the fellas over on the that's the girls' grassroots aficionados. But we're gonna keep this thing hyped up today. Meanwhile, don't forget, yesterday the schedule was released at the C.E. King varsity shootout, which will take place this weekend over at C.E. King High School, the new school. That it's a pretty new building that is on adjacent to the East Beltway, right between Summer Creek High School and North Shore High School. You have the new C.E. King High School. So that schedule can be found on the RCS Sports app. I'm elated because I finally get a chance to see PJ Haggerty make his debut. This young man has not played publicly in an organized game since they were eliminated from the playoffs in February. Crosby means day.
Yeah.
Against Hightower. So and you know what? I'm really, because here's the thing. A lot of these players, we see them probably too much. He's took the time off in favor of, for the COVID. Some parents ain't letting their kids get out there. And I've respected it from day one. I say that's a choice. But at the same time, it's like NASCAR. While you're stopping for a pit stop, other cars are going around the track. But some of those other cars that's going around the track, they might not be gaining no ground. So you really could win sometimes. It's a gamble by sitting still and taking a pit stop if other people are not making progress on their time. So as time will tell, we will see. I expect him to be a little rusty, but PJ is a volume shooter, and in a class that's kind of, you have Bryce Griggs, then you have who's next? You have Ramon Walker, then who's next in that class? And that's the class of 2021. 2022. I'm sorry, I said that class. Yeah. Two different classes.
Yeah,
Ramon Walker is 2021, guys. So let's extract that. But 2022, Bryce Griggs, then I said, who's next? Then you have kids like, you have PJ Haggerty. You have a couple of the African descendant kids that's over at the Premier Academy. You have Terrence Arsenault. You have Amari Abram from Summer Creek. You have and those guys are sitting on the first row, or amongst the first row of talent. Also, Chance White, who announced his college recently.
Like
we played the video for you guys on yesterday.
I didn't know that was Frank White's, Jimmy. I didn't know that was Frank White's son. All of this time, I did not know that. Frank White, he's be on the YouTube feed all the time. That's his son.
On the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
That's
and
awesome,
the thing was funny.
man.
It's funny how this thing go. And I try to and parents understand something. Today's time, your news will often beat you to the mark. This was supposed to have been a secret. It was supposed to have been him doing the video. We posting the video on the Chop Shop, and they're announcing it simultaneously to the world. And this is what I always tell guys: if it's going to be a secret, you trust somebody. You might let somebody know, hey, we're going to make this announcement. But if you're holding a secret, you got a video, and your real announcement, you got to watch who you give it to. First of all, if the college that don't get you, once again, if you're going to be courteous enough to call those schools who made the finals and say, Coach, I think we're going in a different direction. Coach, I think then guess what that coach is going to do? He's going to get off the phone with you and call and let somebody know. Hey, man, I think he's going to pick them, East Carolina. Why you say it? Because they called us, told us we ain't make the cut. That's how it goes. When is a surprise going to be a surprise again? And so when I asked the dad said, well, man, I just told this guy and this guy. I'm like, man, that's this guy too many. You know why? Because certain people are racing to break your news. And I ain't got no problem. I've done it. I've been guilty of it before. But if it's supposed to be a surprise, that's like right now in Dallas. There's a young man in Dallas, one of the top guards in the area, Wade Taylor from Lancaster High School. They call it Lancaster. Well, we on purpose, we chop it up and call it Lancaster down in H-Town. Well, this young man is going to pick his school on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in the loop have an educated guess or know where he's going. In that scenario, if he's making it his day and is publicly saying we're going to do it on this day, this time, then why go and spoil it for him? Now, if he doesn't have a day set and it's not a surprise and it leaks out, guess what? You do what you do. Every man for himself on the news cycle. But guess what? Everybody's going to let him have his moment because he announced and he's reserved the real estate for his moment. That's the thing. Also, man, today is the second day. I forgot to get this in at the top. I'm going to pivot real quick. Second day of early voting. And I want to encourage you guys let me see if we can get something up on the screen. I could have done it myself, but I think it's quicker if I can probably send this to you. Let's see.
Why didn't you send it to
me? This for y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to look if I can find this, and I'm not sure. I'm looking to see where it is. But anyway, I can't find it. We'll find it tomorrow and put it up. Maybe or during the break, I'll find it. But I want to give a shout out, guys, to everybody down in Port Arthur, Lake Charles, especially those who weathered another storm to the opposite side of town, got beat up this time. And in Port Arthur, one of our friends of the Boom Boom Room, Kenneth Lofton Sr., is running for a school board trustee position. And if you live in that area, if you have relatives in that area, encourage them to just go and lend their vote to him. It don't matter. See, that's why elections. So let's just imagine somebody's down in Port Arthur talking about the presidential election, how displeased they are with them. Man, I ain't gonna even vote. Forget that voting. But then here's a guy who's a pillar of the community down in Port Arthur, who's always been there for other people's kids in the basketball community. Whether it be taking them rides and what they call it when you're riding or something, carpooling and other people's kids back and forth from Houston, getting them an extra hot dog from the hot dog stand. Now he's the type, he didn't ask you for your vote. I'm asking you, if you know somebody in that area, encourage them. If they don't do nothing else, go and vote for him. School board trustee.
No, matter of fact, re-elect him.
Yeah, re-elect him. Yeah, he's already holds a position. Somebody trying to come out there. We can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Remember, it's early voting, so they got time.
Oh, yeah.
But don't waste time. Encourage people in Port Arthur. It don't take many votes to win one of those types of positions. It don't take 10,000 votes to win a school board trustee spot. Every vote count. If anybody else on this feed that has a relative, now we announced it yesterday. I'm reminding you guys, Harold Dutton in Houston in Harris County. He's running not running. He's up for re-election for his post in the as a representative. His brother Cecil Dutton, y'all see him on the feed a lot. He's former Wheatley High School star. See, that's the thing. If you're a friend of the friend, then you got to, then we supporting you.
And thank you, Daryl Barnes.
If you're a relative of the Boomer Room, we supporting you. But a closed mouth can't get fed, and that's the only thing I regret, because we opened like at church, we opened the altar, we opened the door, and asked Cecil Dutton, say, Cecil, check with your brother and ask your brother come on the chop shop. You know, understand when those people running for office do this, they know that costs money. They have to pay for that airtime. They pay for that, and they haven't allotted. And they feel a lot of them feel kind of bad or guilty, because then they start thinking, damn, man, I should have just gave them something, dropped something in the cup, gave them a love offering, from the get-go. We seen it. So, and some people that feel the guilt, they just, we want to do like a Jarvis Johnson running for re-election and for a House and Representative spot in the state of Texas. Another one. Used to be a city councilman. Guys.
Daryl Barnes just made a comment, Jimmy. I haven't read it yet, but I've been hearing about it. They talked about the voter in Harris County. The voter turnout yesterday was the largest poll turnout. I guess the largest poll turnout was Montrose, with over 2,000 voters in Montrose area. Oh, interesting. Yes.
Well,
okay.
I can believe that. That ain't good.
Yes, it is.
The Montrose area, that part of town is mostly a red. When I say it ain't good for blue, everything's good for somebody.
But it's some situations happening in this administration that's going against some of those LBGT community people over there, and maybe Jimmy, there's some stuff going on. I mean, even the Amy Barrett lady, right? She's supposed to be the deciding vote to just take all the rights away from the same-sex marriages and all of that kind of stuff, Jimmy. And they trying to fast track her through. So these people, it's a lot of people voting for a lot of issues out here, man. And that's what I try to get us. We always talk about, man, what they gonna do for us? What you want them to do for us? Get you a group of players. You got to do like Ice Cube did. Ice Cube, when he had the black agenda, the 13 points. I just get tired of people complaining and Jimmy and just not doing nothing about it, man. It's just we just got to vote, man. I'm just, everywhere you go, when you pass by, just vote. I ain't telling you who to vote for. Even I love the way that Kenneth Lofton, he is a supporter of this show. Of course, I want you to vote for him. So it's just that, man, it's let me tell y'all something. It's some stuff happening in this world. Just pay attention. It's some stuff happening in this world, y'all. I saw something yesterday, Jimmy, and I implore y'all. Listen to me. I saw something yesterday, and I said I was going to share this with you. Okay? I ain't had a chance to, to go deep dive in it, but this going to be a civics homework for us, for all of us. Jimmy, it's a lot of black, I'm talking about everybody, when they get to talking about Joe Biden, they talk about the Joe Biden 94 crime bill. That's one of the biggest tickets black people, man, he locked up. Kamala Harris locked up. So what I did, Jimmy, I asked some people around who was back in their area a little bit, and this the information they gave me. I'm just saying, this the information they gave me. I'm going to go seek the truth. Okay? They said it was a lot of black support for it back then. A lot of black folks in the Black Congressional Caucus advocated for this crime bill. I know y'all ain't never heard that, because I haven't heard that publicly. The question is the fault of the mass incarceration bill falls completely on Joe Biden. Because that's what everybody blaming. And Jimmy, and this is what they walked me through. They said, Robert, you got to remember now. He said, go back and put your thinking cap on. You have to look back to the Nixon and Reagan years. It started with them. Help me out now, all you academics. It came out, you remember the Just Say No program. Go Google it. Just Say No. Nancy Reagan campaigned on that in the Reagan years. That's the start of it. Then Nixon came with the Nixon Law and Order campaign. Whenever you hear that law and order, Google that too. Then, Jimmy, they brought to my mind, check this out. Robert, you remember what happened when basketball star Lynn Byers, who died using crack? Everybody was in an uproar, Jimmy. The black mamas, my mama in Memphis, everybody, all the mayors. Let me tell you something. It really brought crack from out of our homes into the communities. Everybody started talking. I'm just asking y'all. Y'all go research this. It was at academic before. Yeah, the Nixon rate. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, Rick, I wasn't trying to do it in chronological order. Just look up the damn information, man. But what I found out is the Congressional Black Caucus and the black mayors and Joe Biden and Bill Clinton overreacted with the crime bill, with the mandatory sentences, Jimmy, for crack cocaine and less for powder cocaine. So, Jimmy, it was insane that you can have crack cocaine. I mean, how can you have crack cocaine without powder? But they were the people was getting caught with the powdered cocaine, Jimmy, wasn't getting the highest, the stiffer sentences, the mandatory sentence. I know you're over there smiling. I'm just sitting here, Jimmy. I'm just sitting here. It just blew me away, Jimmy. So my question was to y'all, how do you give the big dealer no mandatory time and give the guy at the end of the drug trade mandatory time? In defense of Joe Biden, he was supported by the Black Caucus, Jimmy. The black mayors, they was pushing him to get it done. But let me help you, sir. Let me help you out, though. He later said that there was unintended circumstances. They shouldn't have did it this way. Everybody don't come back and say, I shouldn't have did it this way. And one more thing, and he was Vice President Barack Obama, who commuted, Jimmy, more sentences than any other president before him. I ain't never heard that, Jimmy. You don't hear that no more. Barack Obama and Joe Biden commuted more sentences than any president before him. So when you want to talk about the story, I'm a proponent of. Let's talk about the whole story. Yeah, that chapter of the book, okay. But then the man came back under Obama and let a lot of these people out. So I just want, man, when somebody brought that truth to me the other day, see, knowledge, Jimmy, I found out something about knowledge the other day that was real key. You know how that thing they used to say, Jimmy, knowledge is power? Jimmy, let me tell you something. I'm gonna revise that statement because, Jimmy, you can have the wrong knowledge. And I'm going to share that with y'all a little bit later in the show. But what else you got, Jimmy? What else you got?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that a lot of people have a relative or a neighbor that became a potential victim of the
mandatory, yeah,
that crack sentencing policy back in the mid 80s.
Me too.
During the epidemic, and one of the reasons was on the other side of the fence. And you have to realize back then, as you get older, the areas, even though trust me, I understand, I'm part of this. the areas where the crack was saturating, was physically tearing up communities, while the powder was right there, how'd you say it, hidden in plain sight. Those dealers, and as you get older on this side of 50, I feel you, but they should have still made both of them 100 to 1. I mean, it should have been a 100 to 1 ratio.
Yeah.
It should have been a 1 to 1 ratio. That's the thing that made it bad in regard to the sentencing guideline. And when it happened, it swept through, and it was almost like you had no, like, guys, just remember now, this was federal sentencing guidelines. This had no bearing on your state to state. That's something between you and your local prosecutor, you and your local, like the local DA, like that election is up right now. Is one of the things on the ballot. The Harris County DA, Kim Ogg, is voting to retain a seat. I mean, running to retain a seat. But it really was, that flipped the federal penitentiaries over as far as a lot of the population, because back in the days, they used to call it club fed. And that means if the guy had the lighter sentence, would go to one of the camps that didn't have a gate around it. What about that
Jimmy?
drug?
Jimmy, I got a question. Was local people getting locked up too? Still getting locked up?
Yeah.
So what did that have to do with Joe Biden in the crime bill?
Well, here's the local. You said local people getting locked up.
Yeah,
what do you mean by
that was the federal crime bill, right? That they were dealing with. That bill that they talking about. So how does that affect or not affect the local level?
Well, a lot of people. You mean we talking about back in those days?
I'm back in them days. Right? Yeah, I'm talking about Jimmy. You got to Jimmy. Follow me now. I am talking about. We always got people coming on and running their mouth about the Joe Biden crime bill. Okay, that he locked people up. So I'm just saying my thing about that. I'm not talking about the crimes. I'm talking about, but when him and Obama came, think about it, even you in this conversation. I said him and Obama commuted more sentences than any other president ever. That's not the story. The story is the other part. And I know people always want to accentuate the negative, but I'm just sitting about, what about if somebody had read your story early in your career, that book might not have been good, that part of the book. But you come to the later part of your career, your life, that book's a lot better. It makes the book a lot better. And that's what all of us self-righteous people don't understand. When you know better, you do better. In 94, I'm way different guy than I was in 94. I make better decisions than I make now than in 94. That's the thing I was just trying to get the point I was trying. I wasn't trying to give a lesson on how many people in the crack. I'm just letting
you asked the question and you still I'm trying to answer it. Mm-hmm. You asked about the local guy. How did it affect them? Well, how it affected the local guy, I mean, the regular guy, boots on the ground, was because that federal sting that would be swooping from the conspiracy case that would be stemming from that big guy. Normally back in the days, they would go up, down, but when they go in the federal level, they go downward up. They knew that. So that means the federal and if they're working hand in hand with the state, then the feds will pick it up at a certain point.
Okay.
Meaning if something is crossing state lines, if you pack it, transport, but if that little guy is part of the case, then he's whooped up in the whirlwind of the tornado of the federals. Now it's a federal case. And in the federal, at that time, back in the days, their conviction ratio was like 96, 98%. If you got indicted by the federal government on a drug charge. About 96, I'm guesstimating, somewhere around that range, was a conviction. That means either you got found guilty or you pled guilty.
Okay,
I got
that. Let me. My question is, because I didn't mean to get there. I shouldn't ask you that question. My bad. My thing is, I remember my mom and her group of friends in our neighborhood banding together to go get on the mayor's behind about the crack in the city. So if the mayor, they getting on the mayor's behind, the mayor gonna go what? Talk to the governors or the state representative or the a national representative. So all of us, especially the people who wasn't participating in it, maybe have you thought about how those parents felt? That's the point. When I talk to older people, that's why I love to talk to older people, because they tell me this stuff. I told you they are walking encyclopedias. Go ask them, and they'll tell you how this stuff was back then. So I mean, it's a unique situation, Jimmy. But I didn't mean to go off there, because I know we got guests about to come on. I think they might be ready to come on. Got guests might be ready to come on. So what time? The guest was 1 o'clock, right, Jimmy? So yeah. let's
we're waiting in a second, and like I say, the bottom line at this point, there's more seats open than just I'm blurring on you guys right now, than just the presidential election. So don't let the excuse become your reason. We go to a quick break, and hopefully we come right back, and we have our guests live in there right now, and we keep the conversation going.
Oh, yeah.
And share the show, if you would, right now. Share the show to your timelines and your friends. Chop shop.
See, defund has always been a unique word. We say defund because it's been our entire existence in America as black folks. From slavery to today, we've been defunded. But when we scream defund the police, it doesn't mean abolish or repeal. It's a simple but strong reallocation of funding that defines its current terminology usage. For cities and municipalities across the country to reprioritize their budgets and place less financial importance on their police departments and more financial importance on often overlooked programs and services. But defunding and all the misinterpretations of the word isn't the end-all be-all answer to what's going to stop the police from profiling, targeting, treating, shooting, and killing us the way that they do.
He cannot find that one.
In New York alone, between 2015 and 2019, 56% of blacks got the stop from law enforcement, while whites only accounted for 10%. In Boston, during the same time, the ratio 63% black, 17% white. In New Orleans, from 2010 to 2019, the trend the same, 68% black.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world. And Jimmy, we have a special guest. It's in the building. She's in the screen. And Jimmy, I'm gonna let you tear that name up. I am not about to tear her name up, and I am not about to do it. I'm gonna put her in the screen. I am not about to tear this lady's name up. You got to hear me. I looked at it. I read over it twice. I read it again, and I read it again. And all these degrees I got, it couldn't help me pronounce your name. And I don't want to do a disservice to your name. So welcome to the Chop Shop. And could you please announce yourself?
Oh, hello. So my name is Dr. Eniola Mudashiru Dawodu, and I often just go by Dr. Dawodu.
Dr. Dowdu?
Yes.
Dowdu? Ah! Okay, I got you.
Hey, don't you mess with her name now. You're gonna start thinking of the song. Remember, what you won't do, you do for love. Bobby Caldwell. What you won't do, come on now. You do for Dr. Wadu. Yeah. Hey, now, seriously, now, all seriously, tell us a little bit, what are you licensed to practice medicine in? I mean, what's your expertise?
Yes. So I am a radiologist by profession. So I'm a physician of medicine, and my specialty is radiology. And then my subspecialty is women's breast imaging, mammogram.
Mammogram. So now we see by me and you matching today. I got my fuchsia. I got fuchsia, salmon, and paint in my stuff right here.
Look what I got, Doc. This is our Chop Shop. This is our Chop Shop t-shirt. This is what I got. And
it needs to be our pictures on there next time.
Okay, I will. I got you. Hey.
Introduce yourself, Doc.
And Jimmy,
Yes.
we have been joined on the screen by another great doctor. And Doc, I'm going to let you pronounce these names because I don't want to mess you. I love you. I don't want to mess your name up. Announce yourself to the world. Who are we speaking with?
Sure. Yeah. So mine is a little bit shorter and simpler. So it is knock, like knock knock.
Oh, Dr. Knock.
Yes.
Okay.
And last name is Pham.
Pham. Not Pham.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, Dr. Diwado, I've been pronouncing your last name wrong the whole time. You never correct me. Say your last name again.
Dawodu.
Dawodu.
Oh, Dawodu?
It doesn't matter.
Doctor,
My apologies.
we got Dr. D.
Dr.
D.
Okay.
And Dr. Pham.
Okay.
He's live with us on the Chop Shop. And let's talk about, we got several females on there right now. And it's very important.
Hold on, Jimmy. I got to get him their claps. I got to give them their, okay, now.
And on the topic of breast cancer.
Okay.
Well, give us like three important things each, or two important things each. What for us everyone that can be some preventive measures for breast.
For breast cancer. Dr. Dawar, do you want to go ahead?
Okay, so just like many other cancers, I'm not sure that we know the exact cause of breast cancer, but several studies have showed some things that you can do to kind of mitigate your risk, to reduce your risk of breast cancer. And it's for breast cancer and also probably for other cancers, just like eating right, diet is high in fiber and vegetables, exercising, and keeping weight down. So those would be the things that you can do.
Hold on a second, Doc. Doc, hold on 1 second, because y'all in the same room, we getting a lot of feedback. We're getting a lot of feedback.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback, and you just said something so important. No, what we'll do is anyway, y'all can.
I got an idea.
What you got?
While Dr. D's talking, can we get Dr. Pham to mute her screen?
It is muted.
It's muted.
Only then vice versa when the other one is talking. That may stop the reverb from coming through the mics in the same room. That may be the quick fix.
Come on, Doc.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay, Doc.
Let's go.
Come on, Dr. Dowdu.
Okay. There you go. So just like I said, for most cancers, unfortunately, we don't really know the cause of breast cancer. The risk is there with every woman at any time. But just like with other cancers, the things that you can do to reduce your risk of breast cancer, which also works for other cancers, is just the common things that we talk about all the time. Keeping your weight down, because obesity increases your risk of breast cancer and other cancers. Exercising, eating right, especially foods that are high in fiber. Well, basically high in fruits and vegetables, really, for breast cancer. And, you know, all the good, like I said on the last show that I did, antioxidants. And those are the things that we're all looking at now for Corona. You know, you're trying to do things that are high in vitamin C, you know, things like that. Those also help you fight cancers, actually, on a low level. So those will be that you can do to reduce your risks. And in the meantime, since we don't really have the cause of cancer, the one thing for breast cancer we can do is find it early. You know, if you had to get it, then our primary approach at this time is screening, finding the breast cancer before you can feel it. You know, basically is the goal. Screening. Every woman from the age of 40 should get a mammogram every year. The age used to be 50. But over the years, it has changed because we're seeing younger and younger people, particularly minorities, Black women, earlier breast cancers in their early 40s. So we say start screening, whether you have a family history or not. It's part of your well woman exam. We want to see you every year. Just come and just get your mammogram and hopefully just go by your way. And let's take care of the rest.
And now, Dr. Pham, we'll get Dr. D.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Tell Dr. Unmute yourself.
And Dr. Pham can unmute.
Dr. Pham unmute, and Dr. Dow do mute this time. Okay.
There we go.
There
Can you hear
you go.
me now?
Now,
Y'all get
tell
this.
us what is your special? What do you
Okay,
specialize
so
in?
I think Dr. Warren said it very, very well. The only thing I would add is that, you know.
You good? Come on.
Is she muted?
Okay,
Is Dr. D muted?
I had mine muted.
Is Doc muted? Is Dr. Dow? Is she muted?
That one right here. Here. Oh, okay, how about now?
She is. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was going to add smoking. Okay, the only thing beyond diet and exercise, the only thing that had been proven to associate with not only breast cancer but other cancer is tobacco abuse. Yeah, because go back to the oxygenation, right? Oxygenation of your body, and smoking will increases the risk of any cancer significantly.
Yes, and once again, you specialize. And once again, let the viewers know, Dr. Pham, what's your specialty of medicine that you practice?
Yes, I am a radiation oncologist, and I work. I'm part of a physician oncology consultants, and our group has 20 oncologists, and so cancer is all we do. And I staff the radiation center at St. Joseph Medical Center.
I got another question, Doc, because somebody, yes. Doc, you're live right now. You're on YouTube and Facebook, and one of the persons put it up there. I think they were kidding, but I'm just interested. What about smoking marijuana or cigars for women?
I knew I'm going to get a question. So, you know, personally, I don't have any objection to the chemical marijuana per se. Okay. Because it's proven to be beneficial in a lot of stuff, especially cancer-related pain, especially cancer-related anorexia. Now, the only problem with marijuana is that it's similar to cigarettes, tobacco. It's that, you know, it's exposing your lung to chemicals. So it's equally harmful to your body because of that smoking exposure.
Okay. So smoke just ain't good for nothing. Smoke just ain't good.
In general, no.
Okay. Okay. Doc, I mean, y'all got to coordinate over there, Doc.
We're right next to each other. We are keeping the 6 feet rule. So
You did a while ago. You went and took your butt over there and messing with her on her computer screen. You ain't keep 6 feet a while ago.
I know, right? I jump over without having a mask.
So now sports. Okay, women in sports. Volleyball, basketball, even the softball, they have to dive. Does any of those activities impose a higher risk on breast cancer, or is that just a wacky question that have nothing to do with it?
No, I think the physical activities actually helped with reducing the risk of cancer. Go back to what Dr. Dewadu educated us earlier, right? Good exercise. Athlete usually has a lower amount body fat in their body. And, there's some school of thoughts think that breast cancer is hormone induced, estrogen, female hormone, right? So who are at higher risk of developing breast cancer? The females who take oral contraceptives medications, females who don't have children, okay? Because when you're pregnant, your body is absent or has a lower level of estrogen than normal. Females who are obese because the fat produces estrogen as well. And people who have a longer menstrual period than usual. So people who are hitting menarche early in age and then have menopause later in age. So that prolonged exposure of estrogen actually are all risk factors. I'm not saying that those are the causes of breast cancer, but it's all risk factors of developing breast cancer. So in my mind, I think the athletes are at a lower risk of having breast cancer than others, just because of their, eating habits, their exercise activities, place them at low risk. What do you think, Dr. Dewar?
Now, there we go. We got Doc on the ones and twos over there, as LeVar Ball said a week ago that Rivers was in ones and twos.
Y'all get Doc right over there. Michael, look at Doc. Dr. Pham just know everything. She come on, Dr. Dawadu.
Dr. D, a while ago you mentioned something about eating habits.
It's on my laptop.
That's all right.
I said a while ago you mentioned something about the eating habits. Black folk like to eat, and we like to eat our food. And are you trying to tell us to cut certain foods out about the breast cancer?
Yep.
Well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell them, Doc.
Or modify the kind of the way you cook. You can still have your greens and still have the things that you like, but just at any point you still have to be conscious of health, trying to eat healthy. So you can modify, try to use like olive oil, substitute that, in some of your recipes. Try to cut out some of the fat, and rely on like spices, and other things to flavor your food. Try not to smoke food, like smoking things outside. That can be toxic. So that try to bake it, change it, so you still eat the same things, but try to modify how you cook and the things that you put in it, in your foods.
Doc, come on. The reason I'm laughing at you, I'm not laughing, but I love what you said, because somebody was just telling me the other day, Robert. He said, Robert, we can eat bad and get sick and blame it on the devil. Hold up now. Think about this, Doc. We eat bad and we get sick. Instead of blaming ourselves for eating bad, we blame it on somebody else. We blame it on the rain. We blame it on everybody else. But Doc, that's why I'm glad y'all came on, because we have a lot of ignorance out there. In other words, a lot of people just don't know. So thank you so much, so you can finish. But I just wanted to add that, because I've seen my people talk about their feet all swole up because they got diabetes and they doing everything wrong. They got a bad diet. And all you doing is saying, from what I'm saying, you can eat some foods, but change the way you prepare it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Keep on. You can continue.
Oh, I just want to add that when we're talking about things that you can do, things that help maybe prevent breast cancer a little bit, one thing is also breastfeeding. So just like Dr. Knox said, people who having a baby or having several children is a little bit protective for getting breast cancer, because we find more breast cancer in people who have never had children or never been pregnant. And then also breastfeeding. So if a woman at the, and I personally learned that a long time ago before I was, when I was much younger. So I was like, oh, I'm going to breastfeed all my kids, but breastfeeding is actually relatively protective. So any woman, still young, if you have a baby, the longer that you can breastfeed is good for you, is good for the baby. So there you go.
Now we have a question from Jess, and she's on the Facebook feed. If you guys would share the show, if you would, there are some people that's maybe some of your friends or followers that this topic could be very interesting and intriguing to an educational for. She's asked, can we get some education or guidance on breast cancer in men? I know breast cancer is mostly thought of as affecting women only, and most don't realize that men can get breast cancer as well.
Yeah.
I got this question also in the last interview that I did. Breast cancer, it can happen in men. It's not common. It's probably 100 times less common in men than women. But we do see, a couple of men a year that do have breast cancer, and it's usually in older men. Probably, I would say, over 60, 70. That kind of age range that we see breast. It's not common in a young man at all, but it can happen. The good thing with men is that they don't have a lot of breast tissue. So if they were to have something, I feel like they would find it earlier. They would just be like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then, but don't be shy. If you're a man and you do find something, common, let's get it checked out for you and get it checked out early. But more commonly in men, people have what we call benign gynecomastia. They just develop breast tissue over, with age, and they almost like man boobs, I guess you would call it. And
come on, Doc. You hurt me right there, Doc. Come on.
So if a man got them things, that mean they might be a prospect for breast cancer.
No.
I'm not saying that. That does not increase your risk of breast cancer. I'm just saying that. What you say?
Jimmy, he crazy. Don't pay him no attention, Doc. Keep going.
Yeah, but then men can develop breast tissue that's benign, just with age, or sometimes with certain medications as a side effect of it, kind of throws your hormones out of balance. For example, medication that they give you for, say, prostate cancer. So if a man was to be on prostate cancer, has prostate cancer, they give you some medications to suppress your testosterone to help protect from prostate cancer. As a side effect, you may then develop breast tissue because then your estrogen levels are higher. So that can happen. But on the other hand, a man can also get actual breast cancer, which will feel like a small little knot, like a little nodule, as opposed to just soft breast tissue that would be benign. But it can happen in men. It's not common.
I got a question for both of y'all. I got a question for both of y'all.
Hang on, before we go to that question. So I see a few audience in the back trying to check the breast right now. So just
Michael's he's checking on his breast cancer. Come on, Doc, finish.
Yeah, so exactly like Dr. Dawadu said, only 1% of breast cancer happens in male, and it tends to be earlier stage, but the way to treat it is exactly the same as female. But the more important thing is that if a male has breast cancer, we have to screen them for genetic component. Okay, have you heard of Angela Jolie, BRCA gene? I think everybody knows that, right? Yes, okay. One of the primary or a main indication for genetic testing for breast cancer is a male breast cancer in the family.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Wadu, you want to comment on that?
So while we're on the topic of hereditary breast cancer, because I think we didn't talk about this earlier. So most, like you said, if a woman lives to the age of 80, there's a 1 in 8 chance that she will develop breast cancer. It's just such a common disease. So that's why we screen everybody. But there are families where the breast cancer runs in their family. And some of the genes that they have discovered that has a higher risk of breast cancer is people who carry the BRCA gene, the BRCA gene. There's a BRCA1 and BRCA2. So Angelina Jolie did have BRCA? Yes. Confirm, okay, because I spoke about her in my last interview as well, but I wasn't sure if she was confirmed to have the actual BRCA gene. So it's the BRCA gene is found in 1 in 400 people approximately. It's found in Black families, white families, everywhere. Everyone has it. 1 in 400 of the population. So I was, like I was saying before, how you might suspect it of the breast cancer in your family could be hereditary breast cancer is if a lot of people seem to have breast cancer. You have an aunt, your cousin, your grandma, maybe not your grandma, your grandma had it, and then your mom had it, and then your cousin has it, and then you have to suspect that perhaps there's a genetic component to breast cancer. You're not getting the sporadic breast cancer, you're getting a genetic hereditary type of breast cancer. And that's important to know, because if you suspect, or if your physician suspects that you have that, then they can send you for genetic counseling and ultimately genetic testing to see if you have the gene. And if you have the gene, the advantage to that is.
Oh, Doc, you froze up on me, Doc. Oh my goodness. Okay.
They will pay for like a breast MRI as well as a mammogram. Breast MRI is also more sensitive and a kind of more advanced kind of imaging for breast cancer. So if you carry that gene, like I said, insurance is more likely to pay for you to get your annual screenings, maybe every 6 months, get a breast MRI, get a mammogram, whatever you need. But if you don't have that diagnosis, then you may not be able to get some of those services. So again, the ways that you might suspect that you have the hereditary breast cancer is if you have several people in the family having breast cancer, a man in the family having breast cancer. Once a man has breast cancer, you might suspect that there's a BRCA gene in the family. And then when people get into breast cancer early, we call that premenopausal breast cancer. So your cousin got breast cancer at age 35, your aunt got breast cancer at 32. Those are young people before they had menopause, premenopausal breast cancer. You start to suspect that perhaps that family has BRCA gene. And so then all the way everyone has to go to their doctor and let's go get screened, see what we're dealing with. Because if you do get diagnosed, just like you said with Angelina Jolie, some people are offered a bilateral mastectomy. We just go ahead and take the breast out because 80% chance you are going to get breast cancer. So why bother waiting? And like I said on my last interview, insurance would then go ahead and pay for your reconstructions and get new boobs, maybe even better ones. Yeah.
Oh, Doc, hold up, Jimmy. Doc.
That's not.
Doc, before you get out, because I know we don't have but a few minutes with y'all, because I know y'all busy. But Doc, I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, and one of y'all can answer.
I'm sorry, I'm really speaking before. I didn't hear you.
Okay. What about vegan or plant-based diets? I know you said you change your diet, but what are your thoughts on vegan and plant-based diet? Because a lot of people have been texting me about that. What are your thoughts?
I would assume, but I haven't read any particular studies. I don't know if Dr. Pham has. It's probably better for you because animal fat, and you get hormones from animal fat. You get all this exposure to animals that have been found to increase just a slight increase in your risk for cancers in general. So if you can keep a vegan diet, by all means, or like a vegetarian diet or a pseudo-vegetarian, meaning you're mostly vegetarian, probably would be ideal. I'm going to mute that.
Now, Dr. Pham, 2 questions. One is, what benefits does the cayenne have to the body and the blood flow? And number 2, break down I know a lot of people put the weed smokers. A lot of them use the devices. And some people use the devices now without the actual weed. They use different substitutions, and then you got the people that do the hookah things. What are the correlations, or is there one that's better than the other for our community, our fraternity that's watching the show of that rank?
All right, okay, sorry, you break up a little bit. But what's the first question again?
The first question was, what does cayenne pepper do for the blood flow?
Cayenne pepper. What does it do?
Okay, what does it do to the blood flow? You know, Jim, I have a very high tolerance to spicy food, and so I love cayenne pepper, right? And I wish I can do something to my health, but so far I don't think it has any proven benefit to our health, including, like, what spicy the food does is that it will stimulate the pain nerve in your mouth. But then I have not seen any reports that has proved that it will be benefit to your health, basically. And then your second question is that if we use any other form for weed, for smoking, is it more beneficial than directly smoking it to a cigarette or the pipe? I guess, but because it's so new, then it had not been well studied. How long has e-cigarettes have been around? 10 years, right? So tobacco been around 100 of years. So we have a lot of data on it. But e-cigarettes or other form of smoking been around for so less years. So there's not been that much data or studies on it. But one thing that we know for sure is that the chemical in the other forms of smoking is about the same compared to a cigarettes. And actually, e-cigarettes been shown that it can cause pulmonary fibrosis as well. So personally, I would not encourage or advise to switch to other form of smoking at all. It's bad for you in general.
What is the number, Doc? What is the number? How can we reach y'all? How can somebody want some information about all of this? How can they reach you, or how can they reach the hospital?
Email or social media.
Yeah, give us something.
Platform.
Absolutely. So, recently, because breast cancer is so common among the other females, many of us will get breast cancer. And once you get the cancer diagnosis, a lot of times patients get depressed, very anxious, they feel lost, they don't know where to go next, what to do next. So I think a good group of doctors, including a nurse navigator, is very important to hold the patient's hand, and from diagnosis all the way to treatment and recovery. So at St. Joseph, we recently created a group that care for breast cancer patients only. We call that breast cancer navigating team. We have a 24/7 hotline. The number is going to be, let me see.
You got to take your time. Take your time.
All right, let me see. All right, so the number is
concierge.
Concierge number and then the mammogram.
That's to schedule a mammogram, and then this is the full concierge.
Okay, hang on. Oh, crap. Sorry, it's not projecting very well in here. So it is 979-0334. And one thing that I want to, okay, 713-979-0334. 034. That's a 24/7 phone number, and the patient can reach us anytime. And one thing, since it's a Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I do want to point out that women who hits 40 and above need a yearly mammogram every year. And Dr. Duwadu, I did not know this before, is that women don't need a referral for a mammogram. They can just get an appointment at the radiology center and go to get their mammogram, and it is 100% covered by your insurance. This is a preventive care, so it is absolutely covered by your insurance, and you don't need any referral to get mammogram done.
We thank you so much, Dr. Pham, and of course, Dr. D. Now, as one visitor just said, they feel like they had a whole biopsy watching the Chop Shop today. And I think that was Kim said it earlier. We thank you, ladies, so much, and for what you do and provide us intel. Guys, this segment, of course, was made impossible by Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab, which operates one of their locations out of St. Joseph's Hospital. So realize, support those who support the Chop Shop. Right. And this is very important because I've actually learned a couple of things, and that comes from you guys presenting the right questions to relay to these doctors. And hey, we got to get y'all back soon now. We can talk some different. We can't just stop with one shot now. Right?
Yeah, y'all got to come give us our checkup. Y'all, I
see you're doing classics out of the back.
I knew it was coming. But we need to let them know we got some things or not.
Yeah.
Right. But absolutely.
I just wanted to just reiterate what Dr. Pham. Okay, I think our echo's gone. That this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A lot of places are doing specials for mammogram, for example, at the Chop Shop. But here at St. Joseph's Hospital, we're offering, if you don't want to go through insurance and want to go through other programs, $100 mammogram. And the $100, you just need it once a year to come and get your mammogram. Now, even if you don't have insurance, right, at this point, you don't have anything, you're like, okay, why bother get a mammogram? What if they find something? What am I going to do? But breast cancer, amongst other cancers, are covered under, for example, emergency Medicaid. So all you have to do is get in the system. If we diagnose you with cancer, people have lost their insurance, they've lost income. This is COVID period.
Yes.
There's social workers waiting to get you in the system, get you emergency Medicaid, no pre-existing condition, nothing. Get your treatments all the way to the end, including surgery, if you went in chemo, radiation oncology, which is what Dr. Pham does. I am the radiologist. I read the mammograms and I perform the biopsy. So we've got a great team here at St. Joseph's Hospital. Everyone's very friendly. We take care of you from the beginning to the end. We do hope that you do not have breast cancer, but you owe it to yourself and your family to come and get checked out. So you don't need a referral from a doctor to get mammogram. You can just show up, and then when you come, you can say, "Well, this is my doctor. Should I have anything? Send my results to this person, or send it to me." You don't need that. You can just schedule it. Because it's the one thing that you can do at this point as a woman for yourself.
That's amazing. Wow. Oh, I'm glad. Hey, women really rock, Jimmy. This Women Rock Wednesday, Doc. So you women really rock today. Thank you so much from me and Jimmy. I know you want to close it out.
Yeah, thanks so much, and we appreciate the nuggets that you and the information that you've provided, and Dr. Pham, and of course Dr. D, Dr. Duwadu, and we would love to get
Dawadu
one day.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, appreciate it. We gotta go to a quick break, guys. We come right back. That's what I'm talking about.
The questions about the weed and all these things, we have all the research ready. so we can give you firsthand information. I feel like we're struggling on that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see y'all
Hey.
later. All right. Let me see.
And of course, next up we got coming. We're gonna talk grassroots basketball on Women Rock Wednesday, but we're gonna go to the other side of the fence and stay on that side of the fence on the female grassroots basketball side. And so we have coming up. We got Steve King.
Oh, Jimmy, I cut Jimmy out the screen, y'all. I'm so sorry. Hey, I cut Jimmy out the screen. He'll pop back on in a minute. But Coach, I'm gonna bring you in already. Coach, I'm gonna bring. I'll see. Hold on. I got you back in, Jimmy. That was my fault, baby. That was my fault. I got you back in. Now you can finish what you're saying.
We got Steve King of the AD Elite Girls Basketball Program, and they're going to join us shortly. But once again, this is one of the things reasons why we ask you guys to share the show. Different strokes for different folks. There's a lot of different things that we love to try to cover in the Chop Shop as we try to strive to get better, as we strive to grow better. And this is one of those things that you take a time out from joking and you get some serious dialogue, because certain questions, guess what? If you get the questions that many of you asked, it would have cost you a checkup to get, not an office visit to get those questions answered. The Chop Shop gave you basically a virtual office visit with not one, but two physicians. We talking about women with alphabet behind their names.
Two of the best in their field, by the way, Jimmy. You know I done looked them up. Two of the best in their field.
And once again, I say it again. Women with alphabet behind their names. MD.
And also, you see what she said. COVID. A lot of people getting laid off. A lot of people don't have their benefits. Don't let that be your excuse to not come, Jimmy. They're going to take care of you anyway. I hope y'all didn't miss that. I hope y'all didn't miss that one. Because sometimes it just goes all, it might have been cracking up a little bit. She said, come and get in this system. We got social people that's going to help you. We'll find funding. You get in there and get that diagnosis, because your life is more important than everything. So, but we're going to take a quick break, y'all, and come back with Coach, and we'll be in the building in just a minute. Coach, give us a few more minutes, Coach, and we'll be back. I'm trying to find a good commercial for you. We'll go here.
During the video that came out about George Floyd, there were so many black folks that felt like the system is stacked against them. They saw the George Floyd video, the power that athletes had. They saw all these forces being mustered towards change. We talk about the developments we had, and then the Jacob Blake video came out. And I remember hearing so many people say, it just feels like nothing's changing, even though it seems like things were being done on local levels. So when you saw those two videos amidst all the activism and all the protests, how did that make you feel about the prospect of real, lasting national and local change?
Yeah, it's so crazy you say that, Ryan, because I remember the George Floyd video, and as a parent, I remember talking to my kids about it, and it broke me down because I had to talk to my daughter, you know, what it's like being a black man, right? Obviously, Breonna Taylor, speaking to my daughter, what it's like being a black woman. And then, obviously, we're playing, and we think, or we're hoping, right? That's the thing. We're hoping that we're trying to create change. And then the Jacob Blake situation happens. And guys are just like, all right, man, are we doing enough? What are we doing? And thankful for Michelle and all of us. And that's why we needed to talk about it and understand that what we were doing and what we are doing is a lot, right? But we needed to be educated even more. And that's why having that reset where we stopped and we got a chance to talk, because as Judy said, there's a lot of people who've been on the ground doing this work day in and day out. And what we needed to do was engage with them, right? So we found out a little bit more information about the George Floyd Police Act, right? And then we started trying to figure out, okay, this is what needs to happen on a local level. Because everyone, like when we talk about voting, everyone just looks at the presidential election. But a lot of times people look right past the 2-year elections, where these elections really influence what the schooling systems are going to be like, what the streets are going to be like, all these different people who are appointed and can be like voted on, right? So that is what's important. And that's why the education piece was big for us as players. It's more than just playing the games. We really got a chance to talk and learn a lot of this stuff.
Boy, that was a powerful, powerful message. I'm going to bring Coach. He's been waiting so long. Let me bring him into the screen. He's been waiting so long and patiently. Coach, Coach, I got you in the screen already, man. Thank you for being patient. But Coach, it's some lives
not a problem.
Some lives got saved a few minutes ago, Coach. It was yeah, it was unbelievable. So, Jimmy, do me a favor and please welcome back to the Chop Shop. Let's powerful message by Chris Paul. He really reiterated what Jimmy said earlier today about the down ballot. What we mean by down ballot is when the presidential election is over, Coach, the next term, the next 2 years, we haven't been paying that much attention to the down ballots. And some people have been sneaking in and been getting power in the down ballot that's affecting our everyday lives right now. So, but Jimmy, introduce Coach.
Well, I mean, we got him on there now, so needs no introduction. We're gonna talk girls grassroots basketball.
No, but people want to know who he is and what his program. This Coach. Okay, excuse me, Jimmy. Coach, tell people about yourself.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for having me on the show. First, our program is called All Day Elite Basketball, which is named after Adrian Peterson for the All Day. That's what his acronym is for him, all day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's what we try to emphasize with our girls and things like that. And this is another thing I'll talk to you guys about a little bit later in life. If you see that when we talk graduates now, you know, so I'm kind of super excited about that.
So you see them through the whole process, Coach. Because some summer programs just see the kids through high school and they done. So you are proud to see them through the whole process.
Listen, Jimmy, I'm telling you, you have no idea how many late nights conversations you have with kids about, man, the process gets so hard. That freshman year, which is the hardest, because you got a lot of them that's going through the transition of being away from home. You're not at the house where you can be in your comfort zone anymore, so that stress gets to them. So we have a lot of conversations. It'd be funny. We had I laughed. One of my kids that called me last when she's about to graduate, and we just reminisced back to that time. And she said, "You never understand how that conversation actually got me through my freshman year." You know what I mean? So you need to understand how that we do different things around here, man, different ways.
Coach, where are you based at? You're not in Palestine, are you?
No. We're
you based
home
at?
base here in Austin, Texas.
Austin.
But we got kids from everywhere. We got them from the Metroplex in Houston. We got kids. We've had kids, I said, from Houston. We got kids from Dallas, San Antonio, anywhere in Texas. We got it. And now we're trying to branch out into Louisiana because that's where I'm from. So each one teach one. I got to get back to where I'm from and try to help them out as well too.
Awesome.
Now on the girls' side, you mentioned follow them all the way through, because a lot of times on the boys' side, that most young men, the goal is to make it to the NBA. Most of these young girls, their goal is to get a college degree and to make it in a profession. Not in this, that's sometimes supersedes the WNBA. So,
right.
What are some of the tough things, or I guess the hurdles that are in place of covering being a male in the girls' grassroots basketball sector?
Well, one of the first obstacles you got with these young ladies when they come through the doors with us is you be amazed that some of them are just not, they don't have high self-esteem. Not all of us, some of them don't have that self-esteem to believe that they can go on and play at that next level. So the first thing we have to do when they come through the doors is you got to establish that trust and make them know that, hey, you are special. You understand? And once you get them there, then we try to go ahead and we talk to them as a whole, saying, okay, where is it in life what do you like right now? Don't even talk basketball. Let's talk about them first. And then once we're establishing that, then we go ahead and we bring in people like, we got great parents on something like a lot of 90% of our kids, I'm gonna give it to you, like they come from single household. We do got that 10% that come here once they see them, that are professionals, that work with these girls and talk to them and help them and guide them become what we call student athletes, because that's the most important part first, how to show them how to become a student athlete. So we talked to them about, okay, in school, let's start with this first. The importance of making sure that you got your grades online first, because if we don't do this first, these just us talking about college anyway, because we got to make sure that you are that student athlete first. And then once we get them there and they start encouraging, start seeing them probably about their sophomore year, for a lot of our kids, they start to turn. Then you say, okay, let's start talking about, okay, what school fits if you want to be in the academic portion, and just guide them along the way. And it changes, but you got to have a process for them in place when you get them into the program.
So your first girl to get a Division I scholarship was whom, and what year was it?
Man, I had two of them. Actually, did I have two? I had my first one would be Carrie, I think Carrie Washington. She was from this place called Cedar Park, Texas. Out here, and she went to Texas State. She was the first one in that group that came that actually got a scholarship for her. She was a 2013 class. She went to Texas State, and she's still currently, I think she's actually with the staff, and she does a lot of stuff with them now. Then the next one after that would be Tierra Pitts and my own daughter, which is Kalia King, and that was the ones that did it too. That who got me started in this thing, I should say. My own kid first, but it was actually Carrie, then after Carrie, Tierra.
What are some of the things that you did not know about the recruiting process during those first one or two that you know now? That way, if somebody coming along and they're right now thinking that they can have this, about to possibly have the first one or two, what did you think you know then? You realized you had no clue. You ain't have a chance back then.
Hey, look, that I'm out here competing in Austin, Texas, thinking that's why all the championships are going to be here, and not knowing that you got to get out here on this thing we call the circuit, man. And you got to be in these events where at the right time, at the right place of playing. See, a lot of programs, either they don't know or they don't have the financial backing to get out here and know, okay, it's a viewing period. It's a difference. If you're not in the viewing period, okay, what you out here doing anyway, all right, is you spinning your wheels for nothing. So you got to know exactly what road to travel. And I had some real good people during that time that I started out with that we used to share information with. Ray Caldwell, who's in San Antonio, does a great job. And we started about the same time doing things. And he's we still talk to this day about a lot of different stuff, but it was me and him, we just bumped our heads first. So I had to figure out that in order for me to put our kids on the map, I got to go up to Houston. And Houston doing the right time and playing. I got to go up to Dallas at the right time when it's a viewing play. And then what we did is we were one of the first programs to ever go in the Boo Williams program over there and play in Virginia. And we out there, we out there playing against kids from New York. And when we get out there, you got coaches watching you, and they're like what put a lot of our kids on when we got out of Texas, because Texas has so much talent. We had to get out of Texas to put ourselves on.
Texas got that much talent, Coach.
Absolutely.
Coach, and girls. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Coach,
absolutely.
you know what I think about? I'm always thinking about, I know you had a daughter, but it's just always weird to me. Men coaching women, I just never understood that aspect. I mean, because it's just so much, man, y'all got to deal with, we talked to one coach, y'all got to deal with so much stuff. Now, these dudes crazy too. I mean, I had a son, he was part of that too. I mean, I tell you one thing, Coach. I loved it, but boy, that was some of the most trying times. Making sure your kid go through this process. But you as a man, and you got to deal with girls, and they got certain girls are they so special.
Yes.
And guess what? And one of them said the other day, we special and we extra.
That's right. Facts.
So, Facts. Coach, you got to be a psychiatrist. And I'm saying you say you done talk. One of the young ladies said you done talked her off a ledge so many times. So how is that the difference? Have you ever coached boys? What's your biggest difference with coaching boys and girls? What's the biggest difference?
I actually have. I coach my nephew. My nephew's in the military now, but I coach them. The difference between girls and boys, girls, you must earn trust. You're not going to tell them anything and just get away from them. Get them anything. Boys, okay, roll the ball out, coach. Let's do this. That's all they want to hear. But with girls, they have to. Their trust has to be earned. You got what I'm saying? Once they trust you, they run through a wall for you. You understand? But you have to say what you mean what you say, and they see that you're truly in it for the love of them, not for the love of what they can do for you.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay.
I learned that, man. There's so many stories I could tell you guys about these young ladies that the stories they tell you that actually could break your heart about when they come in. And like, you know, like I said again, most of my kids are 90% are at-risk teens. I don't have the suburb kids, a lot of them. I might have 2 or 3 of those, but
awesome.
my kids come from a single-based parent home. So that is hard for that child to trust, because so many times the men in their life, for some of them, I got some dads that are some single dads too, but for the most part, the dad that was in their life, they're not there. You know what I mean? So for them to earn your trust like this is different.
Coach, do me a favor. It's Women Rock Wednesday, man. You got to give us, I don't care if it make us cry. You got to give us one. You got to give us one story. Because somebody out here going to benefit from it. Give us one that can be told. You don't have to use a name, but give us one give us one.
I got this kid. She just graduated probably like a year and a half ago, man. She moved down here from y'all area, okay?
Okay.
The kid was out in this place, and when she moved out to this place where she moved out to, she's the only black kid that went to this school at this time, okay? Now, while she's out here going, she's about 6'3", so and she's very twitchy and wiggle, so she sticks out already, so she looks like she's an athlete. So, you know, you look at her, she's playing, great kid, and everything's awesome. So once again, building that trust. Once I talked to her, so I had to go pick her up from practice. Where she lives at, she lives almost an hour away from where I live at right now, but I pick up every Tuesday and Thursday, take her to practice, come back. So on that long drive, you know, you get the chance and you're talking. She ended up with me and my daughter, you know, at the time, taking her home. She just told me, you know, Coach, I really appreciate you, man, because right now, you understand, my mom just got out of rehab. You understand? And now I'm talking to her during this time. She's just saying, yes, me and my little sister. So she takes me as a little sister. Fast forward a little bit, probably 3 months down the way, the mom relapses. And when I say the mom relapses, she's out in the streets. And can you see me, Hatter?
Yeah, I got you, baby. I got you on the screen by yourself.
She's out in the streets. Yeah, she's out in the streets, and while she's out in the streets or whatnot, man, the kid is at home by herself. Nobody knows. They stand in this single dwelling apartment, man, that's horrible. And the kid is going to McDonald's and working when she get out at 12, telling her sister not to unlock the door till she gets home. And she's doing this for about 3 or 4 weeks, and nobody knew it. Nobody knew this. You know what I mean? She did this for about 3 or 4 weeks, man, and that just crushed me. And she went from home to home to home to home because people said that they loved her, but they don't love what she could do for her. So that kid right now is at a school, man. I know she's going to be special. You hear me? I don't think I know this for a fact that she's going to be special. And for me, it just touched me in a certain type of way that you imagine it's as a 16 or 17-year-old that you got to take that responsibility, that burden upon yourself, you know, to do that. And nobody really wants to help you. They say they want to help you, but there's nobody to talk to or to work with or to deal with, because every time somebody wanted something from her for something. It was never just out of love. So that bothered me. And I got story after story of those. I got about 12 the whole book, man.
You know what's so unique? Me listening to you just made me think about when you're on the boys' side, when guys coaching on the boys' side, a lot of those guys in their mind, man, I'm going to get me a pro. He going to go to the league. He going to do this, and we going to have some bread. We going to have this. But in y'all's position, that's why my heart and my hat go off to you guys that coach the women's side, because y'all don't have, y'all don't have those carrots to run after. You know how that Buzz Bunny running around the track? Y'all ain't saying, man, I'm gonna get her. She finna be Brittany Griner. She finna make me. She finna get all us out of the ghetto. I mean, it's a different dynamic, man. How y'all the ultimate goal for y'all than it is for some of these guys who get in boys, summer basketball, because everybody think they're gonna get the next KD. You follow me?
Yeah, and for us, and I tell the kids when they get there, it's about that ball gonna stop bouncing in about 4 years. I need you to be in a position for generational wealth. You understand? Because again, a lot of these guys are the first generation of kids that's going to college, not to that even graduating high school, but you're going into college. So I got a chance to change my sister's situation, my mom's situation. So when we talking to them, you want to use this basketball for what it is. It's nothing more than a vehicle to give us a means of an end. You understand? And we're going to use it in that capacity to get there, to get you in the right position, at the right place, at the right school. If it's not something that's going to benefit you at the end, what are we doing it for? Because I tell them, once you get there, the coach's job to make sure that you stay eligible. Your job is to make sure that we stay in a position of power. Make sure that when you graduate, that you have debt free, that you got a position to step into any be a CEO of your own company, or you could go ahead and start do whatever you want to on your own. Don't let anybody position you where you just bouncing the ball all your life. We're done with that part of it. We want to transition to generational wealth.
Wow. Jimmy?
And that's right. Generational wealth. That is definitely one of the things. And you teaching the big picture. Now, back to these girls in the grassroots events. You mentioned going out of the state and going abroad. And my question is, I was looking in the magazine from last year, in the RCS Sports magazine, and there's a section in there, and where I have a list of all the McDonald's All-Americans from the state of Texas, boys and girls. And the girls had their first McDonald's game in 2002. We're creeping up on 20 years, 20 McDonald's game selections we're creeping up on. Well, the boys had their first game in 1978.
Wow.
Do you realize that there's been more girls McDonald's All-Americans in less than 20 years from the state of Texas than there have been boys? And the boys game has been going on since 1977, 78, somewhere around there. Wow. Now, Texas has produced 70 girls McDonald's All-Americans, 70, since 2002. That's in the state of Texas. 70.
That's crazy. Wow.
They would have had 2
7
this year. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 was going to play in the game that was going to be this year. I know Deja Kelly.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew her. I can't think of the other little girl name. I want to think it's Hannah something. I don't know Hannah last name, but I remember Deja Kelly.
Yeah.
I watched her play a couple of times.
Yeah.
Down in the Pasadena, Texas Invitational. But my point is this.
Yeah, see the truth.
70 McDonald's All-Americans from Texas. No other state has produced more girl McDonald's All-Americans than Texas. So why does it feel so much like a must that Texas teams have to go outside of our borders? Do you realize what would happen if they all just said we're going to stay here?
I'm glad you asked that too. I'm glad you asked that, Hicks, because a lot of time what it is, especially on our side, I won't say it's the good old boys club, but you got to be in the know, because if, say for instance, for us, I'm a grassroots program, meaning I'm not a shoe company, I'm not a shoe deal, meaning I'm not on that circuit with them. We get a chance to play each other at what we call our exposure events. We got some great exposure events out there that precursor these viewing periods. So for me, and it's a competition. If you're not playing with, say I want to go to this, if I'm not cool with this person, that they won't put me on the floor a lot of time to play with those kids. Or sometimes, they got, and I give it to them. Sometimes they say, well, you can't compete up there because your kids are getting blown out by 30 points. Okay, that's cool, but you want to show I might have 3 kids that can go versus you guys and 10 kids that can go on this shoe team. But them 3 kids that I know can play against them kids that you got on this shoe team. You got what I'm saying? So a lot of time we traveling in them circuits here in Texas, they're funny about who they want to put up there on their court sometimes. I have a great relationship. I don't have that problem because we chopped that wood and did it before. But if you're a young program coming up, it's going to be pretty hard for you just to stay on that main floor on a Texas event, in certain ones. And I understand that if you lose a certain way, you don't compete, because sometimes kids get nervous on that floor. So it's hard for them to stay there. Where they go out in Texas, nobody knows them there. They don't know that they're playing against one of the best kids in New York. So they'll get up there and compete against them a little bit differently, which not an excuse, but that's why I had to do it at that time, because I needed to get outside of it because it was too much of a politic thing that was going on at that time. You know what I'm saying? So it was too much politics being played with the game. And then my guy, Ray Caldwell, once he put his event on, I support him 110%. And my guy, Corey Hedgewood up in Dallas. I mean, when Corey did his up there with Big State, he plugs us and he does it the right way. So once we got back to doing that, it was easier. So I try to help any of those I can by doing the same thing.
That's interesting, man.
Wait a minute. So I see something. So I got some dots to connect.
Okay.
in college basketball right now, the most powerful, arguably the most powerful person in college basketball is Gino, right?
Absolutely. And Don, I get Don Staley. Don got it too.
No, I'm not say arguably. I didn't say D. I say arguably, meaning that I'm talking about for the whole body. Now, you're not only a twisted.
Absolutely.
The mantle is shifting, but then also the new the coach at Texas A&M. He's one of the that used to be at what's the coach name at Texas A&M? The guy
at Texas. You talking about at Texas?
A&M.
The guy at Texas used to be at Mississippi State, I think, right?
Yeah, Coach Schaefer's down here at UT.
Coach, okay. Now, what's the coach name at A&M?
Coach Blair?
Blair. That's right.
Yeah.
3 guys. Now transfer this down, connecting dots.
Yeah.
Who's the most powerful event operator in girls grassroots basketball?
And Joey Simmons.
That's in Texas.
Joey
right?
Simmons. Yeah.
Now in the
I'm
country,
gonna give him nationally.
So you give him nationally? What's the guy name that runs all of the events? That runs the events? Is it Mike White or something like that?
Mike White is a good one too. Mike White does one, and
he has the McDonald's. And he has the McDonald's edge, which Joey Simmons do too, because Joey Simmons is the one who's the undercurrent of the camp that's coming to Dallas, right? In a couple of weeks for the it was thought about to be a precursor for the McDonald's game. My point is, you mentioned 3 guys you support that doing events.
Yeah.
You mentioned one in Dallas. You mentioned another one. These are guys. Who are the girls? Who are the ladies that's running stuff and running events? That's kicking butt in the girls scene. Name me 3 of those.
I ain't seen that's a good question. This for ladies, I haven't seen. I've been looking for that last. No, you know what? I take that back. Kim down in New Orleans. Kim does it. She's running down in New Orleans. You go to Battle of the Bayou. She does a real good job down there too. So that's the only one that I know of is Kim.
Now, what about how does Cynthia Guillory fit into the equation? Cynthia she watches the Chop Shop all the time. How does she fit in?
Oh, she keeps holds everybody accountable. You understand? So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or something ain't right, best believe you will get called out. Understand? So, and that's what you need for. And I know of Cynthia through friends, and everything she said to me is bonded. I've seen her at events and stuff like that. And different ones, like in Dallas and different things like that too. Like they had that Sandra from Dunkerville at the time. She's no longer there when she had that big classic they used to have. See them down there a lot of times. And Trey too. Trey is one of the coolest guys, man. Trey Phillips.
Oh, that's my
one
man.
Of the cats, man. That's one of the most underrated people and one of the coolest guys. When I say he's when he's honest in what he's doing, he's one of the coolest guys that is in there, man. There's just people that I know that I deal with, but that's one of the cool people. And I see Chuck put up there. Yes, Kim Powell, with Essence, that does it too.
I like that.
Go ahead, Hal.
No. That was so unique that our software we got now, y'all. Now coach is able to see what y'all saying on the thing. It used to that didn't happen, Jimmy. Now the coach is able to follow y'all's comments. So now you better watch what you say. I'm just letting you know that right now. No, Jimmy,
you used to couldn't see that.
Yeah, you used to couldn't see that a couple of weeks ago. Now we got software that's able to do that. And hey, y'all, we just keep plugging. We just gonna keep plugging away at. But Coach, I'm just excited. Because Coach, I got the chance to go and see some young girls this weekend. I went to a grassroots basketball tournament. First one I've been to all year. Okay, I mean, I didn't go to no boys, but it's something that they made sure I was by myself. They got me through a door that I didn't see a lot of people. Had on my mask. I stayed away from people, and I saw and it was called a unicorn warm up, and I got a list of the top scorers from that event. and I want you to just you can comment on the girls that I know you know all of them, but Rory Harmon, she averaged 22.6 game per game. Kanye Wynn. Kaya Wynn from Foster.
Yeah.
You know her?
Yeah.
She averaged 18.
Yeah.
Then Raven Ellis, my girl, she averaged 13 a game. Then you got Shalane. Is it Shalane Gold?
Yeah.
She from North Shore. She had 12. Then we had Saji Cleveland from Langham Creek. She had she averaged 12 points a game, 12.5. Kendall Hunter, well, I know you know who that is. That's Ken Skills. She Cypress Creek, she averaged 12.3 points a game. Then we have Shell Washington. And y'all tell these young ladies, I talked about them on the show. Shell Washington from North Shore, she had 12 points a game because we don't usually do this. Thank you for coming on today. Then we had Emery Holt from Episcopal. She's a freshman, and she averaged 11.6 points a game. A freshman, Jim. Then we had Amani Ivory from Foster. She averaged 11.3 points a game. And Nia McGee from Bel Air, she averaged 10 points a game. Shout out to all of those young ladies. I've never did that before, but Women Rocks on Wednesday. So guess what? And we got my man Steven on the show. And I didn't want to get by. It's called a unicorn warm up. So Steven, get in touch with those guys. Great tournament. Great tournament. And I had a great time. So I just wanted to share that with. Tell me what you think about some of those young ladies.
Let me tell you something. Some of the best talent that it is right there in Houston, man. You hear me? Houston and Dallas is the most epic battle. But I gotta give a shout out to San Antonio. It's coming up the curve now. It's gonna be between the three cities. It's gonna be on the women's side. I think it's gonna be a battle, but I think the winner is gonna be coming out of Houston. People in Dallas probably will get mad at me, but with Rory and Kendall, they're problems. They major problems. Major problems.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we got some kids that's on the come up too, but they're not like they're suburban kids. Like I told them, for kids in Houston, hey, this is the grind, man. They in there, rain, sleet, or shine. Let's go hoop. Our kids, everything got to be kind of like set up kind of perfectly for us a little bit. You know what I mean? Now we got some before that just come through my daughter came from Pflugerville. Pflugerville was probably one of the teams at that time that was a powerhouse. Both of my daughters played at Pflugerville. Each one of my things between both of them, they might have lost 2 games from their freshman year to their fourth year, all the way up. And every time with somebody from Houston that got them, or one team from Dallas that got them. But we had a powerhouse in Pflugerville too.
Jim?
You there? He had froze up on us a little bit.
No, he was good. He's good. He just said Pflugerville. Pflugerville give people some problems too. That's where his daughter came from. I love Pflugerville, by the way.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I noticed about the girls' grassroots scene when we get ready to land the plane is, as opposed to boys, the market. I say the market, meaning the culture of girls is most girls, no matter how good they are, for the most part, most of them pay. Most of the top shelf boys don't pay.
Right.
Is that a fact or fiction?
Fiction, because on the girls' side, I call it a pyramid scheme for a lot of them. If you with these, I'm not gonna put nobody on the bus, but you have the under program, like everybody think that they're with this, be with a particular program, and the fact of the matter is not just supporting those kids that's at the top. You know what I mean? So they only got certain amount of shooting that can have a certain, you know what I mean, that's in each grade level. You know what I'm saying? So let's be honest. If you got 45 teams and they all got the same name, all 45 of them are not that, that shooting. You know what I mean? You got that shoe name on, but you're not that shoot. You're not going to travel on that circuit. You're going to play in that city, but you're not going to play on that court. You got what I'm saying? So that's why I tell parents, like, that's the biggest thing. And I'm glad you brought that up. You have to do your homework, because I don't want to spend $5,000 of my money on a program that's not going to highlight and take care of my needs for my kid. Now we sit down and we talk, and I explain to you what we're doing, and we agree to do what we're doing. And I hold up my end, job well done. But most parents are taking at that word that, hey, I am doing this, and they wondering why when your kid get to be a junior, there's no traction. Why my kid don't have this, but you done spent up with amounts of money. Not saying that we guarantee that you're gonna get a scholarship, but if I tell you come to our program, that's why I don't have 40 teams. If you come to the program, okay, we're gonna get you an interview in that position. It's up to you to do the work. You must show up to do it. But a lot of parents just put the name on it. Coach rolls the ball out. They play. You spending this money, and it's not there. And then, like I told them before, the girls that are the real dogs, they're not paying a nickel. Your daughter that's barely learning how to dribble, she's paying for her to play.
So Jimmy, thank you for clearing that up. Thank you. Wow.
So it's fiction in regard to if you're a top shelf girl, you're probably not paying.
Absolutely not.
And now what about the teams at the events?
You have to now, because they passed a law now with everything that we have to turn in our records, with the AAU with everything now. But before, they didn't, because, you had these event guys that were, certain ones that would charge us. I don't know how much they pay for them books. The college coach would pay for the books, but they'll charge.
You know how much them college coaches pay for them books? It's way more on the girls' side than it is on the boys' side.
They pay a certain amount for the books, and then we turn around. Hey, and then we have to pay $1,000 a team, but they'll give us a discount on maybe like $100. But like I said again, man, we don't have them type kids that can pay that type money. So a lot of time I have to have sponsors for my program.
Coach, I remember you mentioned 5,000 number. 5,000. That's over a period. That's not per year.
No, that's per year. If you put it back in, if they traveling for these hotels
per kid, per kid, for the program.
I bet you talk to a parent, they tell you they spend about $3,000, $5,000 a summer. Close to it, I guarantee.
On the girls' side, so that's what I'm saying. They paying.
Absolutely. With flights and hotels and food and how much they got to pay to be on the team.
I'm glad my daughter just wanted to be cute. She didn't want to play no sport. I'm glad.
They still gonna be cute.
I'm talking about. I'm saying she didn't want to. She told my dad she went try it out one day, Coach. She said, "Dad, that sweat my hair back." I said, "Baby, don't worry about that. Daddy got you, baby. Daddy got you."
I almost got divorced twice behind some of that, man, because I had to support a lot of these kids, man. You hear me? Because they at my house.
I say it all the time. I say it all the time.
You hear me? So
I know.
I sponsor 3 or 4 kids. I guarantee them, if not more.
So what Heather missed, one thing Heather missed, you say. Let him know again, on top of that number you just gave him, let him know how much the average girls basketball tournament costs for your teams to enter. The good ones.
If it's a viewing period, if it's an NCAA viewing period, you finna pay right at $1,000, if not more. $1,000. If it's not a viewing period, you're gonna pay probably about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you want to ask me what the average boys tournament is during the live period? The average boys during the live period is about $500, $400, $500. Girls is.
And I'm gonna put a disclaimer because I know somebody's gonna hit y'all up with. I was just this. Well, $795 whatever.
That's 1,000, man. That's 1,000, boss.
Okay, yeah.
That's 1,000, man. By the time you get through feeding them and the extra little, that's 1,000.
Exactly. And picking them up and dropping them off and doing stuff. So we had to get I had to go out now we got a team, and man, we had to go out and we try to find local sponsor to sponsor a kid. Like I got a dental office that I have to go to, or I have to do certain things with it. You got to work a little bit to make this thing work. You can't wait to March and decide you're gonna get out here and do stuff. Like we already started this.
Coach, if you don't mind, you don't have to give your trade secrets out. But we got some expiring people out, young guys out here. They want to see how they fit in this. They might want to help with a girls team. They might got a girls program. You just said you had to go out and get your sponsor. What do you tell the sponsor? What do you have to have for a sponsor? I mean,
the 501(c)(3) become a true nonprofit organization of what you're doing.
Okay.
Like with us, we're not just a basketball team. We get out and do stuff in the community. Like we going out with this, with the breast cancer that's going on now. You see that on this shirt right now that we got on. We out here promoting different things that we promote. We also get out here and with the girls, the big things going around too is this trafficking, child with trafficking, with trafficking going on.
That's right.
We go out there and tell them what we're doing, what we're promoting. And you talk to a corporation, what corporation shouldn't want to stand behind you trying to change that? What corporation want to change behind a kid that's trying to prevent teen pregnancy, trying to help a kid with depression? Because all this is real.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anxiety, different things they got. So as a corporation, you don't want to stand behind that. You don't want to be part of that. So you have to put your sponsorship package together, do what you say what you do, and stand behind that. So we try to do different things. We're gonna hold a big event probably in November to try to help a family in need. We're gonna host a tournament probably and try to host a family that in need of things. Because during this pandemic, we got to realize a lot of people lost jobs, man. And for a lot of kids that we had that with us, we fed them on a regular. So that's a lot of things that they didn't have that was at home that we were providing for them at home. And I shout out to all my program directors that do this, because it's not just me. It's a whole lot of them that do this on a regular, but they need this. The light don't ever get shined on it. It always gets shined on the negative things that these guys do. But they do a lot of things outside of that. Their mom, their dad. If a kid not doing their classwork, guess who gets the notification all the time? We do. I do. I know I do. So it's things we have to do. We have to educate the parents. Okay, if you need your SAT scores, okay, you need to go talk to the guidance counselor and make sure that your core scores are matching this for this school. Because every school that you get into is not the same one that you can get into. You got to know what the academic deal is to get into every school we go to. You know what I mean? So it's a tireless thing that we have to go through. I mean, tireless, but I love it.
I can't get off here without asking this question. How do your wife? What does she think about? She got to be. I know, but guess what? Almost ain't good enough. She ain't left yet, so I'm good. So
cheaper to keep her.
How did she come? Because I know, Coach, Stephen, I know you had to bring her in and make her a part of it, because you're spending so much time with some other people's kids and some other people's daughters. So you had to bring her in. Tell me, what's her role now? I know she got a role now.
Oh, she after my daughter's let go, she retired from the game. She passed it over to my oldest daughter. So my oldest daughter just graduated and got her master's, so she's my new assistant. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me. So, I got you. I like that. I like that, man.
So we and my youngest daughter too. She didn't want to help me with all the computer problem I had today. So we agreed up in here.
No, you didn't. Coach, tell me what happened so I can tell our other guests. I'm glad you said that. What was going on with your computer?
Man, I be on here watching y'all every day, and I had put the YouTube on too much, and I guess I had some nuggets in my computer that I gotta go get out of there. So I had to change, get my daughter a laptop, because I didn't know you just watch different. I watch y'all on YouTube and I'm watching y'all every day. Barry tell me about you, but I'm watching it every day, so I'm watching it. I guess some little nuggets got into it and slowed down my feed, man. So my feed was slow.
That's your cookies got in your computer. Okay, I like that. Hey, you see the young man? That's why I always keep me some of these young people around me. They know about this stuff, man. They know. They know. But thank you. Now I know. So what else you got, Jimmy? I know we're gonna have to land this thing at some point.
Yeah, that's great nuggets and great convo. The thing about it is being transparent. I mean, you know what now? Lastly, my last question is, in the state of girls grassroots basketball in Texas, what are 2 or 3 things that can make it better, and give us 2 or 3 things that are your pet peeves that you can't stand about it?
This is gonna be a combination question. One of the things we can do to make it better, we need to work together more. Like you were sitting there talking about, you got this person here. We hate on each other way too much, man. And I tell them, man, we got all the great kids. So why do we sit here and fight and argue with each other instead of us coming together and putting all this great talent under one big roof? And then we can figure out what we need to figure out, but let's come together as one instead of fighting each other. That's one of my biggest things that's there. If we would get better on a different and just talk to each other instead of tweeting all the time to each other, it'll make things a whole lot better. I'm a man at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, Hicks? So if I got a problem with you, I can talk to you. It's okay for us to disagree, but I ain't got to take it out of context. We can talk about certain things, but you got these guys, you'll get on Twitter, say about 15 different disparaging things about them, then you'll walk by and smile, hey, how you doing today, Johnny? And you just done did this stuff, and we can sit here and talk about things and make this basketball on both sides better. You know what I'm saying? So if we will network together better, and then highlight some of these kids that are not just some of your top end kids, like, let's work with each other. Like all teams can't play with each other. I got more coaches, guys, and I promise you, than I got kids right now. So I need more kids. I got coaches calling me. I promise you every day, hey, coach, we're looking for this, looking for that. But I don't have the necessary group of kids that I need to put into it. Because for us, we need them type kids that you're gonna come here and work. And I don't care where you're from, what part of the state you're Jim, let's do work and let's work together.
Words well said, man. Thanks a bunch, man. Steve King with the AD Elite program based out of Central Texas, out of Austin area, but they have programs, of course, in H-Town, in DFW, and that AD Elite team, of course, give them your social media tag so they can follow you guys on social media.
Absolutely. For us being out there on that website, go to adelitebasketball.com. Check us out there. And if you want to check us out on our social media plug, also on Facebook, you're going to go to AD Elite Basketball and just type in that source. For Twitter, just go to AD Elite TX at the end, not TX for Texas, AD Elite TX. And Coach, if you got a baby that she can play and she in the 23 class or 22 class, hey, we looking for you. We need you. We got Coach. We need you right now. Coach, all hands on deck.
I got something for you, Coach. One of the guys who work on your favorite door guy that work on your door. He told me to tell you hi. He's on there. Todd Home. Hey, my God, tell him I said what's up. He said he been saying it for the whole time. He thought I forgot, but I didn't get it. I just had to figure out a way to work it in. But man, it's just, man, thank you, Barry. You know, y'all, let me show you how this came about, everybody, so we can know what we're doing in this community. And Barry gave us a email and told us about you. And we was just trying to figure it out, because we be booked, but we tried to figure out a way to get you in there and get you in and I am so glad that Barry sent an email. He took out his time to send an email, Barry McDonald, to send an email to us and tell us about you, man. And I'm just glad that, glad to meet you. And let me tell you something. When this stuff over with, I'm gonna make sure when you having something, when y'all doing something for the community, you let us know.
Absolutely.
You let us know. You got to support in the chop shop, Doc. Just let you know.
I love you guys, man. And y'all keep doing what y'all doing, because you guys are helping out the community a ton, man. I love the show. I'm going back and put it on all our Twitter live feeds again, so people understand that, hey, you guys doing it the right way, and I love the way y'all bringing everybody in. All right. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Wednesday today. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's Women Rock Wednesday. That's my favorite day.
Absolutely, man. There you have it, man. We appreciate it, man. But guys, you know what time it is on this Wednesday. We are already in overtime.
Yes.
It's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on Women Rock Wednesday. Tomorrow is going down. We got a lot of football talk. We're gonna talk. We got Adam Coleman coming in to talk some high school, the latest around the high school football scene. It's always an episode each week in high school football, especially during the pandemic. Also, we got CJ coming from out of Central Texas, and CJ is going to talk some college football as well as the high school football on the national plane. And also, he's going to give us some information as a parent. He was a parent of a prospect who played at the highest level of high school, and now he's in college at the highest level of football that you can play. I'm talking about level mean at a Power 5 school. Once again, his son played at the highest level, the number one football team in the country, pretty much as far as pound for pound, year in and year out. You guys can guess what that school is and what state it's from, pound for pound, and it's not in Texas. And he's going to join us tomorrow, and he's one of the best smack talkers that you can ever imagine. That's why I said, Alan, we had old Pat a couple of years ago talking football. Pat can't light a candle to the old CJ. This is going to be off the chain tomorrow. You know what? Pull a string like old lawnmower. Just watch it cut the grass by itself. That's all I got to do when he come on. But anyway, thanks so much, Coach King. We appreciate you, man. And the AD.
Appreciate you guys, man. Love y'all, man. Y'all stay up, brother.
Thanks so much. And of course, Brian Jolivet, we're gonna send you some info, because we are JRB Events is a new collaboration in Houston. myself, Rick Nelson, and Rick Nelson just got last week made the big news about the Big Baller brand is sponsoring teams in his TYBL, and also in Jolivet, one of the big event operators from this part of the state of the country. We've joined forces and formed JRB Events, and a couple of the live events are going to. We'll have a couple of them in the live period, and one or two are not. And we're going to reach out to you, and we're going to have girls. And now breaking the news now for those who didn't get the hint before, JRB Events are going to do boys and girls. Like I said, you got to keep coming, you got to keep innovating, and at the same time, you just got to make sure you're not going head to head or knocking out the next guy whom you consider an ally. And that's another part of the business that I learned. But that's the flyer. That's our first event that you see on the screen is April the 9th through the 11th. April the 9th through the 11th. And we'll get that. We reach out to them. Understand, you guys, wherever you're going, no problem. Just want to make sure JRB or the Kingwood Live is on your mind. Anyway, so thanks so much, man, for everybody. We'll see you guys in 22 hours. Out of what you got before we get playing and playing. We got something?
Man, I'm out of here, man. I can't wait. I can't wait till tomorrow, man.
Watch him do what he do.
Watch this. I'm going to click this button on y'all.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dial